Right, guys, welcome to Raining in Horse Racing, and we're now on to day 4 of our Cheltenham Festival previews. And because it's day 4, it's Gold Cup Day. We wanted to try and bring you a special guest to discuss the biggest race and also some of the other great races on Friday. And I think we've managed to get you an absolute belter. 4-time Cheltenham Festival winner, including English Dreamer in the World Hurdle and Tidal Bay in the Arkle. First jockey to win a ride at every track as well in the UK and Ireland, I believe. I think you're still that person as well, Denis. Welcome very much to our show, Denis O'Regan. Denis, a massive thank you for joining us to start with. And first of all, hope you're well, hope you're keeping well. And secondly, just how much of a buzz is this time for jockeys, and especially even for you? I know you're not obviously on the saddle anymore, but just how much of a buzz is this time for everybody?
Yeah, good morning, Craig. And listen, it's a pleasure to be on. It's I'm not doing many previews this year, so it's great to be on and discuss such an important day, the year for racing. Listen, the buzz. Obviously, I don't have to explain the buzz to say the likes of maybe you and other people that are involved in the game, but people that are outside looking in. I mean, this is probably the equivalent of a Champions League final. It's the most important race meeting of the year. It's above every other race meeting, including the Grand National meeting at Aintree and the Royal Ascot meeting in the summer. It generates the most revenue for horse racing. Um, it generates the biggest crowds, and I'd say by far it generates the biggest buzz of the year in terms of relief for winners. You could say repayment for hard work. The fractions and margins are so small at a meeting like this that you'd have to think that, when one crosses the line in front, or even in the first three, first five, or runs a respectable race, you'd have to be very pleased. It's a huge sense of relief, and it's different for me now. I mean, I rode at 20 Cheltenham festivals in a row, but and it got a bit monopolist for me. But somewhere in between, in the middle, I definitely discovered that I lost the nervousness of the place and used my wisdom in the place. And I think it's always good to be in that mindset when you're at Cheltenham as a jockey, if you're taking part, or even as a trainer. Your worry is never ended, but somewhere after a bit of experience and a bit of knowledge, you should be able to handle the place well. And I'm looking forward to some big performances next week. Well, in general, but on Cheltenham on Gold Cup Day, for sure, it's going to be huge, uh, a huge thing to watch.
Yeah, I think the whole week gears up, done it to day 4. Obviously, with the Gold Cup being such a special race and such a big race, like you say, though, there's so much going on even before we get to that stage, and we'll crack on straight with the racing if you want to do, Dennis. What we're trying to do is we'll try and stay to roughly about 5 minutes per race, just so we're not sort of going over the top with everything like that. 'Cause I think sometimes you can just go looking at things too much. So we're trying to keep it short and snappy as much as we possibly can. What I'm going to do is I've got it on the screen as well, so we can have a look while we're talking. So we'll start off with the Triumph Hurdle. Now all the information here is currently from the Racing Post, so the odds will be you might get slightly better elsewhere, with roughly around about the right sort of mark. So you've got Gino at the head of the market, even money. Madgeborough 6-1. Cargies, winner at the DRF at 7-1. And then you've got Stormart and Salvatore Monday at 10, and it's 14-1. Bar those. So Dennis, I think obviously the key place to start is Sergino. Looked mightily impressive last time out at Cheltenham. Clearly is the one to beat. Do you see anything else challenging him at all, or do you think it will be a bit of a formality in this race?
Well, I was a little bit in the Sergino could win any race at Cheltenham. He was that impressive when he won at Cheltenham recently, and he'd upped his game with his jumping department and all the rest of it, and he looks a class above. Listen, he looks a fine, big, scopy horse. He won't lack for size. The only thing I would say is that the form of Nicky Henderson's yard hasn't quite been on the top of its game at the moment. Look, anyone can go through that, and you're talking about a master of his craft here now. I'm not trying to say, that that's set in stone. But I'd nearly wait. I mean, the triumph hurdle on the last day, you'd nearly see how the week is going for Nicky Henderson. If Nicky Henderson has a couple of winners on the board, then you definitely steam into this fella. If he was having a poor week, be inclined to just maybe, he could still win, but might only, it won't be an impressive win. He did beat Salvador Monday in Auteuil as a maiden, when they both ran in France. And I heard the other night that maybe Paul Townend is considering riding Salvador Monday, which has not ran for Willie Mullins yet. And so Willie Mullins has a very good track record at running horses. First time for him at Cheltenham. So I would give him, he could be the horse possibly to follow him home. I've heard Willie on about Maj Bora a lot. He's been talking a lot about him. I would say he's a top class horse, but he's more of a chaser now. But I'd give him a great shout as well. It's tricky race. I think Sergino is a league above, uh, but at the same time, I'd wait to see how Nicky's horses are performing during the week before I go steaming in as a punter anyway. And if he wasn't having a great week, I'd say whichever one Paul Townend rides, could be Salvador Monday or maybe Mashborough. He's a fine horse, and as I've heard Willie talk in great regard of that horse. So yeah, look, it's between Willie and Nicky Henderson in my opinion, and yeah, I like I say, I'd wait till I see how Nicky's horses get on during the week first before storming in.
Yeah, see how his form is. For me, I think maybe Cargies might not be a bad each way play for those of you that do back each way. I'm not an each way player, but I think the weight swing. I thought she was quite impressive on the second start over at the DRF. I thought she ran quite well, and obviously she gets a decent weight pull as well. So I think maybe from an each way play, if that's the way that you like to do things, 7-1. Um, I don't think is a bad price for Cargies. Right, we'll move on to the county hurdle now. And obviously, the confirmations for these come out. I believe it's today. Until we're recording on Saturday, so I think it's today the confirmations. But again, let's have a look towards the top end of the market. We've got King of Kingsfields at 6-1. Oh, massively. Apologies for my Yorkshire pronunciation of the next couple. Load of Sud is 8-1. Iberico Lord has now been supplemented for the Champion Hurdle, so that's what we're running here. Absurd 10-1, Under Control at 12s. Balliastock, who I believe Rich Ritchie gave a nice word to the day preview at 14s, alongside quite a few other ones. Bit of a minefield, Dennis. Have you had your eye on anything prior to seeing the weights, or was anyone you looking for when the weights came out?
Yeah, I had my eye on Zenta, JP McManus runner. I think he's about 14-1.
Yeah,
He'd be like a horse for me that's been campaigned for this. He's a standout for me, and I think he's got a great chance. And I'd also give Pied Piper a great shout. He only just touched off it last year. Very unlucky not to win the race. And yeah, I'd give him a great shout as well. So I said Zenta for me looks to be the one.
yeah. They're always funny races these out there, I suppose. And it maybe even I suppose if you're a stable jockey, it might be a little bit different. But you are trying to find some of these horses that are obviously better than the mark, aren't you? That's obviously the key to some of these races, and the ones that are
Mhm.
being campaigned are supposed to be better than what they are. King of Kingsfield's offer a mark of 140. He's been running some good races this year. Do you see him as a live threat? I know obviously 6-1 favourite, but do you think he has got a good chance in this race?
I do. I think he's got a great chance, but he's very ground dependent. If there's any bit of rain around at all at the end of the week, I wouldn't touch him. He definitely wants good ground, and the race is definitely set up to suit him. They're going to go a really fast gallop. He jumps very well, and they'll be dropping him in. And he'll be ridden very similar to the Pied Piper last year in the race. Uh, Whether he has the resolution to get up the hill in a battle, which he'll need to have here, is another thing. But he does look nicely handicapped. I mean, he could be a 155 horse, 150, 155. And, I'm sure if Jack Kennedy didn't have Firefox to ride in the Supreme Novice, they definitely would be running this villain in the Supreme Novice, King of
Mm.
Kingsfield. So look, he definitely has a great chance. He's definitely a grade one, grade two horse running in a handicap. But you need a lot of luck in running, and he's very ground
Yeah,
dependent.
yeah, it'll be a big field as always, won't it? That is for certain. That is for certain. Right, we'll move on to the Albert Bartlett. So again, we've got a Mullins trio at the top of the market. Reading Tommy wrong, 6-1. High Class Hero 7-1. Dancing City, who also again won with the DRF 7-1. Gidley Park for Harry Fry 8-1. Captain Teague and Shanghai Bob at 10-1. And it's 12-1. Bar those. Probably the right favourites towards top end of the market there, Dennis, for you.
Yeah, yeah. Look, he's the right favourite. He was very good in the Lawlers over 2 mile tree at Naas recently, and they seem to think a step up to 3 mile won't be a problem. Um, Look, he has good form. He's a horse. He's never been beaten only since he joined Willie. He's only ever been beaten in a point, which is understandable. He's done nothing wrong, and he seems to be a kind of a horse that's been going under the radar all season, but he keeps winning, and fantastic, fantastic chance, I would say. Wouldn't think he's a certainty now. This Albert Bartlett throws up some very strange results over the years. It has done. I've seen a lot of fancied horses getting beat here, and I've gone for a quite of an outsider here in this. I like a horse of the Gigginstown House Stud and Gordon Elliott in Croke Park. I think he's a horse that's been really campaigned all towards the Albert Bartlett, but he's had a disappointing run to overcome recently. I think he can do that, no problem. I think Gordon will have his horses in super form here, and he looks to me like a horse with a lot of ability, potential Gold Cup horse going forward. And I expect him to put up a huge show here at a big price. I think yeah, I think he's just the type that could really suit the race and run very well.
Yeah, Croke Park right around, I think it's around 25-1 at this moment in time, isn't it? I think a similar sort of scenario for me in terms of the triumph. I think if depending on how Nicky's horses get on, I quite like Shanghai Bob. I like his form of last time out at Cheltenham, running over I think over 3 miles, I think at Cheltenham as well. I think sometimes course form can go a long way. Cat, well, you'll know yourself, Dennis. Obviously, you'll sat on
Yeah,
plenty. I'm assuming that obviously if they can handle the track, you're probably halfway there, aren't you? Sometimes some of these
yeah,
races.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. No, it's a good shout. A good shout. Good few people have tipped him up now as well, and yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about him. So but again, you would be a little bit nervous of the
The
yard
stable form.
form just recently anyway. Like, I mean, you'd have to see. I mean, the great thing about analyzing the Friday races is you will know by this time next Friday that you'll know how every yard is going, and the form of the stables.
Yeah,
So that'll be
this is the thing with these preview shows, and it's sometimes when you're doing, I'm sure you'll have them when you're going and doing them live as well. It's tough, isn't it? Because you are doing it from so far out, and like you say, Sergino,
yeah,
if Nicky Henderson's having a good week, that could even go off 8-15. If he's having such a
yeah,
good week, on the other point, it could go off 6-4.
yeah, yeah. He could be even shorter than he is now. So like, but look, it's for me, Sergino would be a good thing if I knew that Nicky was having a good week. If the horse were in
Yeah,
top form and the Supreme Novice horse ran well and different, John Bond won the champion chase or something like that. You know what I mean? I would tear into Sergino, to be honest. I think he's the
yeah,
best. He's the best of a not a strong bunch of 3-year-olds in Ireland this year, I think.
yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Right, we'll move on to the big one then. The Gold Cup. Galvan de Champs 5-4, Fast or Slow 5-1, Shishkin 13-2. It's then Jerry Cologne 10s and 16-1 bar. I was at the DRF. Obviously, I know you were as well, Dennis. I was massively impressed with Galopin de Champs here. I don't think he was even given that much of a hard time. It didn't look like he was given that much of a hard time, really, to be fair, and completely dispatched a Fast or Slow. You would probably imagine, I mean, what's his racing post rating there? 188. You imagine if he races to anywhere near his peak that he will take one hell of a beating here. What I think.
Yeah, listen, he will. He's the type of horse that he's the only one that's really, you would say, that's utterly top class. He'd have, great similarities to the likes of Cato Star and that. Huge potential to travel and seems to go on any ground. Since they started riding him handy with a bit of room, it's gonna, if the real Galloping Champs turns up, he should win. Um, won't be all plain sailing though. It's a Gold Cup at the end of the day, and it's very hard to envisage him sitting in there third or fourth and having a very clean race and winning. It's not doesn't work like that. And there's a lot of pace on. There's a lot of horses that want to go forward. He's going to be surrounded by a lot of horses in the race. But I could see Faster Slow getting a bit closer to him. And I could see the likes of Korak Rambler maybe running a big race in this. He did beat Faster Slow in a handicap last year.
Yeah, the
And
unsmoker, yeah.
yeah, so I could see potentially that form again. I know the Elliott camp are very sweet on Jerry Killam running a big race in this. It'll all come down to ground as well on the day.
Yeah.
It depends. Good ground is going to suit a good few of them better than it's going to suit others. So, yeah, listen, I think Galvin Champ should win. He should win. It won't be a walkover, though. It won't be simple.
There's
And
a lot of strength in depth this year, isn't there? In some of the horses further down,
there
like you say,
is there.
Braeburns game,
Yeah,
Gentleman's game, well, Hewick winning the King George. Like you say, there's a lot of strength in behind him. To say it's a 5-4 favourite, anyway.
yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, again, now, if the ground was soft on Friday, I'd give Gentleman's Game a huge chance. But
Mm,
the chances are it mightn't be on Friday. If ground is good on Friday, that would lessen his chances significantly for me. Um,
yeah,
but it's the real whacker. Look, he beat Jerry Killam last year, but Jerry Killam was a very unlucky loser, and Jerry Killam has probably improved a little bit more in terms of ability this year than the real whacker. He's kind of gone forward. Uh, Brave Man's Game put up a huge performance last year to be second in the Gold Cup, and they pulled a long way clear the third. But I think it's a stronger Gold Cup this year, and I think Galloping Champs is going to have to put in the same performance, if not a better one, than he did last year to win this Gold Cup. Um, it looks to me like he possibly could. Um, there's a lot less chinks in his armor than the others. Fast or slow is not a
yeah.
given to stay the trip. Jerry Kalama has to overcome a bad run the last day. Shishkin mightn't start. Brave Man's Game doesn't stay. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot. Gentleman's Game is very ground dependent. Hewick is very ground dependent. He wants really good ground. Corey Gramder to me looks a very solid one. Had a very good run the last day. Grand National winner. Beat Fastest Slow in a handicap last year at Cheltenham. And yeah, for me, he's probably one with he's solid enough. I think Cora Grambler. I think he is. I think he could finish in the
A
money
big
in
price,
the
yeah.
first three. Yeah, yeah, I think he could.
And,
Yeah.
and just very quickly, without sort of staying on it too long, if if you had the leg up on Gallup and Deschamps, how would you look to run him, Dennis? Because like last time in the Gold Cup, he sort of Paul put him out the back, didn't he? Got him settled, and then he just came through the field. Whereas this season, we've seen him see a little bit more forward tactics. Given a bit of Gold Cup, given how much pace is going to be on at the front, where would you like to be seeing him after say a circuit's time? Would you like to be seeing him towards the front or where he was last year, just finding his rhythm and coming through?
Um. Yeah, I
I know it's probably
think.
a tough
Look.
question to ask, but
Yeah. I suppose I was always a man for taking my time. I wouldn't get involved if the pace was too strong early on. But I would like to see him ridden forward and up there. I wouldn't like to see him out the back like he was in the John Durkin because I think he doesn't enjoy jumping fences as well in behind as he does near the front. But I think he's fairly straightforward. I mean, I wouldn't like to see him any further back than what would it be? 12 runners. I wouldn't like to see him be any further back than kind of fourth or fifth. Do you know that'd be
right,
the
right,
yeah.
ride him like you're on a good horse, basically, rather
Yeah,
than
I think
riding for
so.
luck
I
at the back.
think so. Yeah, ride him like he's the best horse in the race, and I think ride him with a small bit of space as well. And hey, listen, they could pop him out upsides in front. Who knows? But I'd say they'd ride him very similar to Denman when he won the Gold Cup, and Denman was kind of sat third or fourth. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's,
Yeah, quite handy.
yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Very good. Right, on to the next one. This one might be a fairly quick one to be fair to go through. This is the Hunter's Chase, which I know is always a bit of a funny one, really, of the festival. It's on the line, which is now obviously in the JP Silks. Ferns Lock 3-1, Premier Magic, and Billow 8 sevens, and it's 14-1 by those, including Sam Crow at 14, which is good to see him back. Yeah, a bit of a strange one. This really, 'cause it's not really something, or a lot of these horses you don't really see a lot of. Or I don't feel as though you see a lot of really until it comes to this sort of time. Really, I don't really have an opinion on this. I'm going to be honest with you, Dennis. I really don't. I sort of tend to go
Yeah.
with the vibes of what people tell me about, and that's me being completely honest with
Yeah, well, I do have a bit of association with one of the horses here, Lock. I did ride him recently in a piece of work. I'd be good pals with the trainer, David Christie, and to me, he's gonna win this race. I feel he's a good horse. He's a very good jumper, and he's had a good preparation. Um, he's got Barry O'Neill on him, which is always a huge plus. Cheltenham. And yeah, I think he's had a nicer campaign. I mean, on the line is favourite now. Ferns Lock was favourite only 2 days ago, but he's turned. I'm on the line's probably favourite now because JP McManus has recently bought him.
you. Yeah, and the JP
And
factor, but
yeah, I think so. Bill Away always has a squeaky Cheltenham because he's William Mullins, but I think he's gone a bit old. Um, I'm going to stick with David Christie's horse here. I think he's got a great chance. That's Ferns Lock. He's by telescope. He's a very good jumper. He's fit and ready. Um, he's got a good jockey on. He's trained by a good trainer, and yeah, I'm going to stick with Ferns Lock. I think he's nailed on for this. To be honest.
I'll take your word for that. I'll take yours rather than my guesswork. Let's put it that way, Dennis. Right, mate. Right, so we'll jump onto the Mares Chase, which I think is a really intriguing race this year. Dino Blue, even money. Allegory Devassi 4-1, Limerick Lace 5-1, Bright Hill 8-1, 20-1. Bar those. Is Dino Blue too short here, or do you think it's probably the right price given the campaign that she's had so far and the form that she's shown?
It's a race I can't get my head around, but at the same time, I think she is too short. She's obviously got some outstanding form, but I'd be see. I've ridden Limerick Lace. I don't think she's good enough. Um, I've won on Riviere de Tell. She's not won't suit that track. Won't suit her. She can't go left-handed. So I think it's within the first two in the market, but you know. I probably go with Allegor Devassi, to be honest. I think she's been trained for this race. Just got beaten it last year by a very good mare. They were fancying her out of the way, weren't they, in it last year? And uh, yeah, listen, I think Dinah Blue is a good mare, but she's not a given to stay the trip.
She had quite a tough campaign, wasn't she, Dennis, to be fair, compared to, like you say, Allegory
Yeah,
Devassi.
yeah,
She's been thrown in, hasn't she, in
she
some deep
has.
races.
She has, and she by the sounds of it, she's been hard on herself at home too. And Willie did say he thought that El Fabiolo mightn't, if there was any cracks in El Fabiolo Leopardstown, he felt the way Dinah Blue's working at home would beat him. I mean, so she's been working outstanding at home back in February. You know, uh, I think I'd be more inclined to side with the fresher mare, Alec Gordavasi. I think she's a good mare. I think she'd be prime for this. And I've been looking for a bit of value um outside of the top few in the market, and I've gone for a mare of Stuart Edwards, Marsh
Oh,
Wren that
Marsh
won
Wren.
in. They
Mm.
brought her over to Turles only a couple of weeks ago, and she won a lovely. I think it was a grade three, lovely race, great bit of placing. There was some good mares in that. Harmonia Maker and the likes, and she done well to win. And I'd give her an each way chance. Big price, but I'd give her an each way chance. Stuart Edwards is having a good season. and they'll be coming in here with plenty of confidence, and I think she'll run a nice race.
No, I'm very similar opinion to you towards the front end of the market. I think Allegory Devassi, I'm not saying she's too big at 4-1, but I thought it might be a little bit closer towards where Dino Blue, just because of the campaign. And I think that it's only £2, but
Mhm.
that could prove quite significant. I think towards back end at race, definitely. Right then, on to the final one, and again another minefield for us to have a look at, which is the Martin Pipe. So we've had again my Yorkshire pronunciation, Kida Bourbon at 4-1, Samajest at 6-1. No Ordinary Joe nines, Lisnagar Fortune tens, Waterford Whispers tens, and then it's 14-1 about those. Again, there'll be a few of these that will probably affect into other races like the Coral Cup and things like that. I think one of the horses that, especially what I'm hearing a lot about, is obviously Sam Majest as being one of the horses that I think he's maybe, I won't use the phrase thrown in, but he's probably better than the mark of 140 at this moment in time. Anything from your end, Denis, that sort of catches your eye at the ratings?
Well, I think, there's a lot of talk about Waterford Whispers over here, Henry de Bromhead stable, another JP McManus. Been a very well campaigned throughout the season, has some right good solid form, and looks to be kind of, coming in here reasonably well handicapped. And, he could produce it. I'm not, I don't think, I wouldn't be certain on him now myself, but he does look to be potentially well handicapped, but he mightn't be as well handicapped as some of the rest. I like a horse of Gordon Elliott's, Better Days Ahead. I think he's been campaigned very well for this. Nice big price there. I don't know enough about Sam Majest. There is a lot of talk about Noel George's horse. Is he running here? That's coming from France. Um,
Um,
I
I know
think
which one
he
you mean.
is.
I forgot the name of it.
It,
Is it
it's Milan to two or something like that. Um,
Melantino? I think is that going for the Boodles? Possibly. I think.
it could be in the Boodles. Sorry, apologies. Right,
Is it going
okay,
for
it
the
is the
Boodles?
Boodles.
Yeah.
Apologies. Yeah, listen. Other than that, and look, that's Langer Dan never runs a bad race. Never runs a bad
No.
race. But I kind of go. Someone told me the other night, built by Ballymore has a great chance, but um, I probably stick with Better Days Ahead and maybe
Mm.
Waterford Whispers. I think they'd be the two. Yeah, I think they'd be the two for me. Waterford Whispers looks to be very well campaigned and has some good graded form, and yeah, fresh and well coming in and trained by a master in Henry de Bromhead. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd give him a great shout.
Yeah, the only one I'll just give a nod to, I know because I listened to it in an interview, he's Dodded the Great for Nicky Henderson. Nicky said that I think he would be looking forward to seeing this one run in obviously for
Yeah,
getting in. I don't think he'll get in the Coral Cup looking at the weight. So if he drops into this race, I think he might have a squeaker. Well, I don't think we're going for
yeah,
14s.
yeah.
That is for certain. Right, Dennis, thanks very much for coming on, mate. I know obviously a few of
Pleasure.
these are a little bit guesswork at this moment in time and stuff like that. Just very quickly before you go, just a quick fire question, if you don't mind, because I do like to
Yeah,
get involved, especially when
yeah.
I manage to get you on. So it's
Brilliant.
mainly just Cheltenham related, but we'll give you a couple of quick fire questions if you don't
Yeah.
mind, mate. Just whatever comes to front of your mind, just firing back to us. So, which current hot favourite do you feel is the most vulnerable at the festival this year?
El Fabiolo.
Is that because they jumped him? Just out of curiosity.
He's taking on two very good horses, Edward Stone and John Bond, an Arthur winner, King of Creeks winners. They're two serious horses, and I've no doubt about it. Edward Stone's got a great chance.
Who wins the Arkle this year? Ultra competitive.
Quilixios.
I've got that song. I'm happy with that. Who will get the most winners at the Cheltenham Festival? Willie Mullins or Great Britain as a whole?
Willie.
Give us your nap for the festival. Any race, anything you want. Don't have to be day 4.
Ballyburn.
Ballyburn. And apart from Ballyburn, if you could ride one horse at this year's festival in any race, what would it be?
I'd probably write Sergino or Galloping the Champs. Probably they're the two. So hard. Like I'd love to write State Bank.
Yeah, and
you
I
know.
think the right answer to that think's any winner, isn't it? I think Dennis, whoever's going to win is probably the right
Yeah.
answer.
Well, there. I think. Well, I think that's it. I think, yeah, I think they're the big guns, aren't they? You'd love to win any of them top four championship races. You'd be delighted,
Yeah.
right? Tia Hoopu maybe. Looks a good one.
No, 100%, 100%. Right, mate. Well, listen, thanks again for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. I know you've got a very busy schedule and stuff like that. Are
Pleasure,
you heading
Craig.
over to Cheltenham, by the way, or are you watching it from
Yeah,
home? Or
I'm going Thursday morning. I'm going racing for the day, and then I'm staying Thursday night, and I'm coming back Friday morning, and we'll watch the Gold Cup from home here. So I'm looking forward to that.
oh, good stuff. Well, listen, we'll safe travels over and stuff like this, and I'm sure we'll be in touch going forward anyway. Hopefully, fingers
Uh,
crossed.
that's 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 brilliant, Craig. Thanks so much for having me on.
All right, mate.
All the best.
No worries. I'll
All the
catch up with
best.
you soon, pal.
Bye bye.
Cheers, mate.
Bye bye.